long have you gone without sleeping? A day or two or more? The effects of sleep deprivation or not getting enough or no sleep can all be severe, impacting cognitive function, mood, and overall health. In extreme cases, prolonged sleep deprivation can lead to hallucinations, paranoia, and even death. One such infamous example of the effects of sleep deprivation is the Russian sleep experiment, which took place in the Soviet Union in the 1940s. The Russian sleep experiment serves as a chilling reminder of the potential consequences of sleep deprivation. This was not the first time a sleep deprivation experiment was conducted, but it was the first in its brutality. The Russian physician and scientist Marie de Manassini and Italian physiologist Lamberto Daddi and Guido Tarozzi in the late 19th century found that complete lack of sleep was fatal in animals and severe brain lesions were observed. Psychiatrist Cesare Agostini studied the effects of prolonged insomnia on dogs and observed similar degenerative changes in their brains. These studies indicated that sleep is a vital function and that the brain can be negatively impacted by lack of sleep. In the 1940s, Russian researchers took this experiment a step further by testing it on humans. Soldiers in war were often sleep deprived as they fought for days on end. The Russians wanted to see how long the soldiers could go without sleep to test their effectiveness. These weren't just any people. These were prisoners of war, deemed enemies of state in World War II. 5 such test subjects were selected and were made to stay awake for 15 days using a special stimulant gas. They made sure to monitor the amount of oxygen they were breathing to keep them safe from the toxic gas. The researchers observed them through a small window and microphone since there were no cameras then. Inside the chamber, there were books, water, a toilet, and enough food to last for more than a month. For the first 5 days, everything was okay. The people in the experiment were told that they would be released if they didn't sleep for 30 days. However, the Russians were simply stating this to them, but they had no intention of actually carrying it out. After a day, the subjects talked about bad things from their past and their conversations got darker after 4 days. After 5 days, the group began to complain about their circumstances and exhibit signs of severe paranoia. They retreated into themselves, whispering into the microphones and staring through a one-way mirrored porthole. Strangely, each member believed that they could gain favor with the experimenters by betraying their fellow captives. Initially, the researchers attributed this behavior to the effects of the gas used in the experiment. After 9 days, the first captive started screaming uncontrollably, running back and forth in the chamber for hours until his voice gave out. The researchers believed he had torn his vocal cords from the extreme strain. What was truly shocking, however, is the indifference of the other captives. They continued whispering into the microphones, undisturbed by the chaos unfolding before them. It wasn't until the second captive joined in the screams that the non-screaming captives took drastic action, destroying the books in the chamber and covering the windows with feces-covered pages. The sudden silence that followed was eerie, leaving the researchers puzzled by the captives' bizarre behavior. So did the whispering into the microphones. After 3 or more days passed, the researchers checked the microphones hourly to make sure they were working, since they thought it was impossible that there was no sound with 5 people inside. The oxygen consumption in the chamber indicated that all 5 must still be alive. In fact, the level of oxygen administered was equal to the amount of 5 people that would consume it at a very high level of strenuous exercise. On the morning of the 14th day, the researchers went against their own word and used the intercom in the chamber, hoping to provoke a response from the captives they feared were no longer alive or conscious. With a sense of urgency, they announced that they would be opening the chamber to test the equipment, threatening to shoot anyone who did not comply and offering freedom to an individual who did. To their surprise, a calm voice responded, stating that they no longer desired to be released. This unexpected turn of events sparked heated debates among the researchers and military officials, leading to the decision to open the chamber at midnight on the 15th day. With uncertainty and curiosity emerging, the fate of the captives remained a mystery. As the next steps in the experiment were about to unfold, the chamber was flushed with stimulant gas and filled with fresh air. Immediately, 3 voices began begging to turn the gas back on. The chamber was opened and the soldiers were set in to retrieve the test subjects. The subjects began to scream louder than ever, and so did the soldiers when they saw what was inside. The soldiers were horrified to find the test subjects in a state of absolute confusion, with their bodies contorted and twisted in unnatural positions. It was a sight that no one could have been prepared for, and the soldiers quickly realized the grave mistake they had made. Most of the soldiers at the facility were Russian special operatives, yet many of them hesitated to return to the chamber to remove the test subjects. The test subjects themselves continued to scream, begging and demanding that the gas be turned on to prevent them from falling asleep. Surprisingly, the subjects put up a fierce fight as they were being removed from the chamber. In the course of these dreadful circumstances, tragedy struck as one soldier was killed after having his throat ripped out, and another was severely injured with an artery in his leg severed by one of the subject's teeth. In total, 5 soldiers lost their lives during this incident, including those who committed suicide in the weeks that followed. During a struggle, one of the 4 living subjects experienced a ruptured spleen and began to bleed out almost immediately. The medical researchers tried to sedate him, but their efforts were unsuccessful. Despite being injected with more than 10 times the normal human dose of a morphine, the subject fought like a cornered animal, causing injuries to one of the doctors. His heart continued to beat for a full 2 minutes after he had bled out, resulting in his vascular system being filled with air instead of blood. Even after his heart stopped, he continued to scream and thrash about another 3 minutes, attempting to attack anyone within reach while repeatedly uttering the word "More," with decreasing intensity until he eventually fell silent. 4 of the 5 subjects were still alive, but their state of existence could hardly be considered as alive. Food rations remained untouched after day 5. There were chunks of meat from the deceased test subject's thighs, chest that clogged the drain, causing water to accumulate on the chamber floor. It was unclear of how much water was blood. The surviving test subjects bore deep wounds and torn muscles and exposed bones, suggesting self-inflicted injuries. The researchers realized that the wounds were not caused by teeth, but by constant scratching. The experiment took a disturbing toll on the subjects. Abdominal organs below the rib cage of all 4 test subjects had been removed, leaving the heart, lungs, and diaphragm in place. The skin and most of the muscles attached to the ribs had been ripped off, revealing the lungs through the rib cage. Basically, what they had done is they had torn off their flesh to such an extent that their organs were visible. The digestive tracts of all 4 could be seen working, digesting food. The food they had consumed turned out to be their own flesh that they had ripped off and consumed over the course of days. The surviving 3 test subjects were heavily restrained and moved to a medical facility, the 2 with intact vocal cords continuously begging for the gas, demanding to be kept awake. The injured subject was taken to a surgical operating room and became immune to the sedative used for surgery. He fought against restraints and ripped through a wrist strap. Even with a 200-pound soldier, more anesthetic, his heart stopped and his eyes fluttered. A second survivor was unable to object to surgery, as his vocal cords were destroyed, shook his head, and remained silent throughout the 6-hour procedure. The surgeon emphasized the patient's medical inability to survive. After the surgery, the survivor began to wheeze loudly and struggle, attempting to talk. The surgeon provided a pen and pad for the survivor to write his message, which said, "Keep cutting." 2 test subjects underwent surgery without anesthesia but with a paralytic injection. The surgeon struggled to perform the operation while the patients laughed. After paralysis, they tried to escape and asked for the stimulant gas. The researchers asked why they injured themselves and ripped out their guts and wanted the gas again, but only one response was given. 3 subjects were placed back into a chamber, facing repercussions from their military benefactors for failing their project goals. The researchers considered euthanizing the surviving subjects but were overruled. To prepare for being sealed again, the subjects were connected to an EEG monitor and padded for long-term confinement. Despite their struggles, all 3 stopped struggling when it was revealed that they were going back on the gas. The first subject who was wired to the EEG machine showed normal brain waves but sometimes flatlined, appearing to suffer brain death before returning to normal. The only remaining subject that could speak started screaming to be sealed in now. The commander gave the order to seal the chamber with both subjects inside, as well as 3 researchers. The scene was chaotic and terrifying as one of the researchers immediately drew his gun and shot the commander point blank between the eyes. Then he turned the gun on the mute subject. He pointed his gun at the remaining subject, still restrained to a bed, as the remaining members of the medical and research team fled the room. "I won't be locked in here with these things. Not with you," he screamed at the man strapped to the table. "What are you?" he demanded. "I must know." Subject smiled. "We are you. We are the madness that lurks within you all, begging to be free every moment in your deepest animal mind. We are what you hide from in on the beds every night. We are what you sedate into silence and paralysis when you go to the nocturnal heaven we cannot tread." The researcher paused, then aimed at the subject's heart and fired. EEG flatlined as the subject weakly choked out. So nearly free. So guys, I know that this video has been really dark, but if you like this video, please make sure to comment down below your thoughts on this experiment and on this subject, and do like, share and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next week with a brand new video. Till then, bye bye.